Alright guys, second video for the day. Arizona Secretary of State rejects independent analysis of voting data. It's a little bit funny that she said that, isn't it? Let's jump into it. So the Arizona Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, who's a Democrat by the way, rejected a request from independent analysis of voting data in the state, concluding that it would simply amplify the voices of people who seek to undermine our democracy process for political gain. This is patently unreasonable to suggest that despite being zero credible evidence of improperly or widespread irregularities, electoral officials nonetheless have a responsibility to prove a negative, Hobbs wrote in a response to Arizona President Kerry Fan, Republican, who requested an independent analysis of voting data to restore confidence and credibility among residents. To be clear, there is no current controversy regarding Arizona's elections outside theories floated by those seeking to undermine our democratic process for political gain, Hobbs continued, adding that the elected officials should work to build rather than damage public confidence in our system before formally denying the request. I respectfully deny your request to push aside a work that remains to be done to ensure our orderly completion of this election, instead launched and funded with taxpayer dollars boundless independent evaluations of all data related to the blah 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 blah. The Prescott Republican made the request on Monday, concluding that an independent analysis would help restore credibility and hopefully end the current controversy over fairness in the election process in Arizona, given the amounting concerns and suspicions of fraud and abuse. I'm not claiming fraud was involved in Arizona's election, but we must do everything we can to satisfy the Arizonians of the count that was lawfully done, Fan added. The Senate state leader has maintained the request is reasonable, particularly if the allegations are in fact baseless, as Hobbs assumes. If there's no factual basis of any of these things, then absolutely, let's put a rest and show that's not true. Fan said on Wednesday, if there's something that needs to be fixed, let's fix it. Despite Hobbs' claims, there are concerns regarding the election in Arizona. Over the weekend, Trump campaign and Republican National Committee, RNC, filed a lawsuit alleging that in-person voters had the ballots that were wrongfully rejected. Breitbart News also reported that lawsuit details in Micampi County, Arizona, where the eligible voters showed up on election day to cast their vote and subsequently had their ballots rejected. In one case, Maya Pasabello said that she marked on a ballot at an Anthem, Arizona polling site with the ink pen that permanently through the ballot. When the ballot was fed through the tabulation device, it was rejected according to the lawsuit. Bellaluso also said she also was told to press a green button labeled cast on the device, but it was told that doing so would likely cause her selection in the candidate race or ballot position affected by the preservative overvoter or ballot position affected by the primitive overvote or other defective or irregularities to be automatically disqualified and not be tabulated? Right, whatever. So basically the main story that we want to talk about here is the Arizona Secretary of State rejecting an independent analysis. Boy, lucky that same person that said that is not the same person that's tweeted about Donald Trump supporting neo-Nazis. Oh wait, she did. The Arizona Secretary of State, Katie Hobbs, who oversees the vote counting process in the swing state, previously tweeted about President Trump's pandering to his neo-Nazi base. In August 2017, tweet that has received fresh attention, Hobbs asserted the real Donald Trump has made it abundantly clear he's more interested in pandering to his neo-Nazi base than being POTUS of America. So that wouldn't be much of a shock for someone who listed as her pronouns in her Twitter bio, along with her for support for Black Lives Matter. But given that Hobbs is now instrumental in the Arizona voting process, Trump supporters are understandably concerned. Anyone think we could possibly get a fair shake in front of this activist? Asked Donald Trump Jr. Probably not. Secretary of State has already exercised her power to prevent an inquiry into Arizona's voting machines. In recent days, the president of Arizona State Senate, Karen Fann, called on Hobbs' office to authorize an independent review of the state's voting machines and called Hobbs immediately shut down reports intentionally filed. It's particularly unreasonable to suggest that we depict that there have been zero credibility evidence of any impropriety or widespread irregularity. Electoral officials nonetheless have a responsibility to prove a negative, Hobbs wrote in a response. Look, at the end of the day, if at the fact that there's no voting irregularities, sorry, I've lost the phletis to speak properly, at the end of the day, then you would have no problems doing this. And I imagine her being a Democrat the way she is and the way that she lists her pronouns and supports Black Lives Matter and claims that Trump supports neo-Nazis. I imagine if it was the shoe on the other foot, she would support the recount. If it was a Democrat, she would definitely support it. So at the end of the day, I don't know what to do about this. I'm open to suggestions. But yeah, at the end of the day, I would say that this is a problem. And I would say that obviously her views on Donald Trump is obviously going to be affecting her decision when it comes to obviously these ballot machines. And the last thing you want is someone that's partisan who's currently running through and going through and possibly tainting the election. And the fact is now that Arizona, if she doesn't do the independent inquiry, Arizona will be known as one of the states that was possibly hacked. Would you not want to disprove that? I would think you do. Well, apparently she doesn't. And that's the problem. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Obviously, the video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed the second video for the day. The third one coming up soon. Apart from that, guys, obviously, if you have a great night, enjoy yourselves, and I'll see you in the next demonetized video from YouTube. Have a great night.